Hey guys, MGH here and welcome to another FIFA wishlist. I do this every single year. It's a little bit late this year, I'm not going to lie. I was planning on doing this weeks and weeks ago, but things have kept popping up, and also I just wasn't happy with the list I've come up with, and finally I think I've produced a really detailed list of all the things that we hate. Not just me, you guys, you've all contributed. And I've removed some things that I don't think are huge issues that maybe you guys think are, and I've produced this list, which I just think is a very neat and tidy list that you could even send to EA, and maybe it would help them produce a better game. One thing I want to say is, a little disclaimer is, I'm pretty sure FIFA 14 is, 90% done at this point. Well, maybe not 90%, but the things that we talk about in this won't have time to put them in the new game. So I'm almost going to say this is almost a FIFA 15 wish list, which is absolutely crazy considering it's a year and a half away. But you know what? EA don't put things in their game last minute. It's always done early. But anyway, we're going to get straight into the list because I don't want to bore you. Just want to say the gameplay in the background. Thank you to all the guys who contributed. I asked on Twitter if there's anyone who wanted to submit gameplay for these videos. Just because I have a heart attack playing Ultimate Team at the moment. I don't know what is wrong with me. I just cannot get good games. So their links will be in the description, and also their names will pop up in the bottom right. So yeah, massive thanks to them. Let's get on with the wish list. Now, I've split it into two categories. We've got gameplay and we've got features. A lot of people just literally they read off the list and they don't kind of break it down. I want to do gameplay first and then we'll do features. So first thing for me, improved tackling. My god, this game with tackling. Now, pressing circle or B to tackle, when you just stick your foot out, I think it works. Obviously, this was a change in FIFA 12 when it wasn't just holding X or something and you would make the tackle. Now you've actually got to time it perfectly. I think it works. But what I mean by improved tackling is, how many times do you do it and the ball goes back to them? How many times do you make a fantastic tackle right on the edge of the box, a really clean tackle, you take the ball lovely, and it goes straight to their other striker? That's what I mean by improve the bloody tackling. And also, I think some slide tackles are they just don't work. They just literally hit the ball. They don't take the ball. That's what you got to imagine a tackle being. You take the ball from them. Instead, you just smash it, So I'd really like to see some tackling animations improved, things like that. And obviously, I'd like it to stop going straight to his other striker, which is extremely frustrating. Right, the next thing on the list is the first touch. I would like it to be tweaked just a little bit. I think there's some issues with the first touch. I mean, we've all seen it where you're running up the wing and all of a sudden, just because you're simply holding sprint, which many players do in real life, they are sprinting when they take a first touch, and the ball just goes flying out, and it is not cool. Especially in the rain. I've noticed in the rain, first touch is just diabolical. In Ultimate Team especially, because it's a very arcadey gameplay style. When the ball is bouncing off your shins like that, it's not fun, and it's not realistic at all. I wouldn't expect it in League 2. When you're sprinting and you take a touch, you normally just do a soft touch, and yes, sometimes they'll make a mistake and it'll go to the left or the right, but it won't go 50 yards in front of them like you see in some of my gameplay. It's just ridiculous, okay? So I'd like them to kind of adjust that. The next thing, sprint speed. Oh, okay. So, at the end of FIFA 12, when they announced FIFA 13, a few people said that sprint speed will not be a huge feature in FIFA 13, and we were all so excited, weren't we? I remember making a video and saying, my god, could this be the first FIFA game where people will buy players based on their skill, their passing, and not just scroll through the auctions, pick the player with the highest pace, and buy it? No. FIFA 13 was, I'd say, arguably even worse than FIFA 12. Maybe not worse, maybe the same. It's just the same, pretty much. Everyone wants pace. Every single team you come up against in Ultimate Team, you can pretty much guarantee that at least 2 or 3 of their players will have 90 pace. If not, it'll be the high 80s with high agility, all that stuff. Players that you just cannot tackle unless you've got really expensive defenders with, guess what, pace. So what I propose is we literally nerf sprint speed. I'm not saying reduce players' sprint speed in general. I don't mean, let's go ahead and make Walcott have 89 pace. That can't be done. Walcott needs that 96 pace, right? Because he is that fast in real life compared to the other players. What I'm saying is reduce the effect it has. Why not make the players run a little bit slower? So just make the difference between 70 pace and 90 smaller. I'm not saying make them slow. I'm really not. But when you've got a defender with 72 pace, which really isn't that bad, 72 pace is quite respectable if you ask me, but he gets absolutely outpaced, just completely outpaced by a 90 pace striker. It's annoying. It's not realistic at all. Walcott, you don't, obviously he's fast, but you don't see him overtaking players very often, do you? Especially defenders who are big and strong. You know, I remember him playing against Distan at Everton, and he just couldn't overtake him. He was just so strong, and Distan's quite fast as well. So I'm just saying, nerf sprint speed, the effect, not the actual numbers. And I think we would all enjoy the game so much more. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. It's an obvious issue, and they just completely overlook it, clearly. Now, these are quite generalised issues, but I'm just going to go ahead and say defensive and goalkeeper issues. Now, when I say defensive issues, it's not necessarily the tackling, but it's actually the positioning, the positioning of the players. So I quite often find that my defenders are just completely out of position. They leave huge gaps, more so in Ultimate Team than head-to-head for some reason. My Ultimate Team defenders apparently are blind, and they kind of move out of position completely, even if they've got defensive work rates. And they just slide the ball through and they score, you know? So defensive issues, they need to be looked at. Again, though, it won't be in FIFA 14. You'll see a carbon copy of FIFA 13 defending, I'm absolutely sure. And yeah, it'll just be repackaged. But goalkeeping issues, this has been a problem for so long. It is better in FIFA 13. FIFA 12, the goalkeepers were awful. And I do think they are slightly better in this game, but they still make those stupid saves when the ball is rolling to them and they feel like they've got to do some spectacular bloody save and push it around the post. And the worst ones are when the ball is dipping from a real height down towards the keeper and it's obviously going over, yet they jump and tip it over for a corner. Oh, it's so annoying. I bet all of you are just thinking, my God, you're so right, man. It is so frustrating. You don't need to punch the ball when it's going over. And it's the obvious things like, how many times have you conceded a goal where you watch it go in your net and you just think, how did you not save that? And then when you watch the replay, he's literally dived after the ball's gone in. I mean, come on. It doesn't work like that in real life. Make the keepers just that tiny bit more reliable, please. I'm not saying make them better, but fix the goddamn shit that they make bloody awful saves all the time. It's so frustrating. I've only gone through 5 things. Honestly, I knew I'd overtalk every single thing, so I'll try and be a bit more brief in these. The next thing I've got here is realistic weather changes. Now, FIFA 12 didn't have this problem, but FIFA 13 does for me, and that is the weather changes are awful. When it's raining, the pitch just looks like it's kind of like glowing. It's an awful, awful look, and I really despise rain on FIFA as it is. I don't need my pitch looking yellow, thank you. And also the way the rain affects the ball and your players, it's completely ridiculous. When you play in the rain in real life, sure it affects the ball a bit, but your players don't run like they're in mud, okay? It's really not like that. Pitches in like, look at the Emirates, okay? I'd say it's one of the best looking pitches in the Premier League. It's probably one of the best looked after, just like at Highbury was. The pitch doesn't bloody turn to mud just because it's raining a bit. Please stop making it so our players constantly feel like they're trapped. You can't turn them in the rain. It's just rubbish. Overcast is okay. I don't have really any issues with overcast. But again, it does make the pitch look a little bit stupid. And also, there is a bug in FIFA 13 where if you change the time in a match, say in career mode, you want to play in the evening, for example, like maybe in a sunset or something, and then when you join the game, it's kind of like nighttime, but your players have the evening shadows. It's just a bug. It's awful. Please fix it. But really, what I would like to ask is, can we just remove rain from the game? No, I can't ask that, but I would like to be able to not have that on Ultimate Team. I'd like to have an option that says, would you like to play in the rain? No. Next thing, let's move on, player switching. This isn't an issue for most of the pro players because they probably don't use L1 to switch, they use the right stick. I use the right stick of the majority, but sometimes I like to use L1 to do a quick switch, or LB, sorry, if you're on Xbox. But player switching seems to be the worst it's ever been in this game. I don't know what it is, but it selects the most stupid players for me. You know, I'm trying to select a defender that's directly in front of his striker, just so I can make a good tackle, time it nicely, get the ball in a counter-attack, and it switches to my left back. It's like, no, that doesn't work. Can you please switch to the correct player? I know it's like you need to be telepathic to know what your player wants to do, but you need to be able to switch to the right players, right? So I think they should touch up on that. Containing, this is another issue that a lot of people have submitted to me. I don't really see it too much. I'm not sure how much of a problem it is, But I do know containing's in the game, obviously, and that people do use it. And it's where you literally just hold a button and your player just like follows the other players. It's a little bit boring, maybe. It's a bit difficult to get past if you're attacking and he's defending with containing. So maybe we just need to tweak it. To be honest, I don't use contain at all. I don't. I always do manual. I always hold L2, so I'm facing towards the ball, and I just back myself up and left and right as I need to myself. I don't use containing at all, so if they removed it, it wouldn't affect me. But let me know what you think about that one in the comments. It's a little bit controversial. And by the way, I'm not going to have time to get through features in this video, so we'll have to split it into 2 parts. But anyway, next one. Improved crowd and fans. This is something that they promise every single time, but it never happens. They always say, yeah, we're tweaking the crowds, they're going to look a bit better. But still, guys, when you score that amazing bicycle kick with Ronaldinho, and you go and celebrate in front of the crowd, and they look like pixelated poos, you know, it's just shit. Please, can we have proper crowds, like in NBA, you know? The games that have actual crowds, they look so much better. It feels like we're still playing PlayStation 2. I mean, come on, EA. The crowd look awful. They look like paper. Can we just fix it? I'm sure it hogs a lot of the PS3's RAM, but we can do it. It's 2013. Just do it. Stop being lazy. Come on. Improved finesse shots. Now, FIFA 12, FIFA 12 it was, wasn't it? The finesse shots were just ridiculous. You could score outside the box every time, aim it top corner and do the right kind of power, and it would go in. And you pretty much know it would. It is completely different in FIFA 13. If you finesse shot anywhere near the goal, let alone outside the goal, it goes miles wide unless the player you have has the finesse shot trait. That seems to make them act like they did in FIFA 12, or like every player did in FIFA 12. So I discussed this in the Back of the Net podcast, and we all basically said that FIFA 12 had it overpowered, FIFA 13 has it underpowered. Just meet in the middle, and we should have the correct kind of finesse shots. I don't want everyone going in, obviously. I don't want every single finesse shot going in, but let's make them viable, guys, because everyone just power shots in FIFA 13. It's all near post, and that's another thing in this game we need to fix, near post OP. But let's make finesse shots just that little bit better. That'd be good. Now, this is one of the big things for me. Remove ball jumping. Oh my god, it's so frustrating. How many times have you passed the ball directly to your striker? He's in so much space, he's about to run into goal, and he jumps over the ball and it hits the back of his heel. What the it hits his ankle as he's trying to jump over the ball. It doesn't even make sense. I haven't seen a player in real life football jump over the football like that, ever. I've seen it in defence. They jump over the ball to let it go out for a corner or something, or, you know, not for a corner, but go out for a goal kick. But why would your striker, who is running in the same direction as the ball, jump over the ball when there's no one next to him? It defies logic. EA, it defies logic. Like so many of your issues in this game. Let's just remove the jumping animation. It's really not difficult to think about this. It's just ridiculous. And talking about animations, I think we need more in general, more shot animations. It just seems to be the same power shot all the time. More passing animations wouldn't go amiss. They added the outside of the boot curl pass, which I absolutely love it. I love it when players like Pirlo do that and it goes perfectly to their player or their teammate. And I would like to see some more. And I'd also like to see some more celebrations. I think people get bored of having the same ones every year, so maybe we could have a few more there. That's not game breaking. It's not really an issue. It would be just nice to have. And the last thing I've got here is in-game jittering and freezing. This is kind of about the servers, but I have found that there's no other game that does this every single match. I find online my game is constantly jittering, and when I say jittering, it freezes for a second or just half a second, then plays again, then freezes, and then plays. It's just constantly jumping. And obviously the freezing issue in career mode and all that stuff, it needs to be fixed. I can't believe we're even still talking about it, what, 8 months in, and it's still not fixed. It's actually disgraceful, and I know there's no EA people watching this, but if there is just that odd chance that someone's watching this, I'm really disappointed that we're even discussing freezing in a game that's been out for 8 months. I still am stuck on my Real Madrid career mode because as soon as I sim a match or play a match, I freeze. And it shuts my console down. I mean, that is disgraceful. There's no other game on the market that has that issue. And if it has, it's been fixed by now. There's no way it would still be there after 8 months. I can't even work out how long it's been. Yeah. Anyway, this is my gameplay list. We're going to have to do features in the next episode. Otherwise, this will be a crazy long video and I'll bore you. But just to go over what we've gone through. Improved tackling. first touch tweaking, sprint speed nerf, defensive issues, goalkeeper issues, realistic weather changes please, we need to change the weather, player switching, containing, improved crowd and fans, improved finesse shots, remove ball jumping animation, more animations in general, more celebrations, and fixing the in-game jittering and freezing. That is my list. So let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment, and I will see you later on for the features list, and we'll go through that one next.